Here's the Renault Espace from 2010, and I will replace the engine air filter and the cabin or Pollen air filter. So this is the more complicated one. First of all, pull this to open the engine hood. The engine should be stopped, of course. Now insert your hand here and lift up that thing there at the logo, that one. The pollen filter or cabin filter is this one. That's much easier to replace compared to the other one. Let's start with that. You have to push in the top portion and the bottom will come out, so it will tilt like this. Push in the top like so, and then you can remove it. And the same thing when you insert it. You have to insert it, by the way, above this little thing, which is present on the left side also. So you insert it on that one and then you rotate it down. Okay, so here's the filter itself. It's a Vallejo 698737 cabin air filter. It looks like this. It's inside a nylon. Now clean out this portion also because there is dust there. Get a cloth and wipe it out. You can remove even the rubber from the side, and then you can remove the dust easier. Put the rubber back, just insert it there into that opening and push on the sides. Okay, and this one, airflow, and it's marked down, so that airflow is marked down. So insert it with the foam down, like so. The two sides look identical. 698737 made in Poland. So insert it above that side element and push it down, and that's it. So that's the cabin air filter. It is ready to be used. That's the old one, it's dirtier. That's the new one, it's brighter, whiter. Okay, one is ready. Now this one will be much more difficult. This is the engine air filter, that portion. But to access this one, we have to remove the cap of the fuse box, disconnect the fuse box itself to move it a little bit to the left. We have to loosen this bolt, which is holding the air hose and the filter box. It's linking them together. And plus we have to disconnect this one, which is the airflow sensor. And then we can lift up this cap. I will need a Torx, so it's T20. It's hexagonal star, more exactly. And I will need a 7mm hexagonal, and it's a ratchet tool. A 7mm is needed for that behind. So let's disconnect this box, the fuse box. I will use a flathead screwdriver, and I have to disconnect this small little portion, that is more exactly put it behind this larger one and that smaller one. Something like that, and pull it apart and then lift it, but you have to do it 2 times because there's another one on the other side. It's barely visible. The same thing between the long one and the short one. Insert it and twist it and then lift it up also. So I'm inserting it between the small one and the large one, twisting it, lifting it up. That portion was already released. Same thing here between the small and the large. Twist it and meanwhile lift it up. Okay, so that is done. The box itself has to be attached onto that plastic from below, like so. Both of them on the left side also. Now let's remove the top part. This little thing just has to be pulled up, like so. And the same thing is on the other side, so just pull it up. I should have started with the cap, not the bottom. So this little thing is holding it on the front, and those two are holding them on the other side. Okay, let's put it there. So this is disconnected. It can be pushed to the left when it's needed. Now let's disconnect the electric connector. So lift it up and pull it to the left. And that little thing has to be lifted up. Looks like this. Those little things are blocking it. So lift up with that finger and meanwhile pull with the other finger. Now I will use this ratchet tool. It's a 7mm hexagonal. And remove this one. Loosen it, of course, not remove it totally. After that, remove these 4 screws, this and that one, from the air filter box. For that I will use my T20 Torx. Just insert it there. These 2 are short screws and these 2 are long screws. After loosening it, I can rotate it by hand. I will remove these short ones so they won't fall off. So this looks like this. Torx T20. The next one inside there. Here you have even less space. I'm not sure what's this, but it's always in the way. Lift it up a little bit so it will not fall back. Another inner one. Unscrew it by hand a little bit so it will stay up. Now the more difficult part. Push the fuse box to the left and pull this box to the right and hold this one, the hose, on the left side. So we have to disconnect it in this portion. Raise it up so that it will move. Wiggle it so that it will come out from here. So it was disconnected from here. Pull the fuse box to the left. And now finally you can remove a cap, which looks like this. And the surprise is inside. So the air filter is down, air is coming from below, and it should enter cleaner inside the engine. But look what's inside. A foam which is coming apart. So this can be sucked into the engine because it's after the air filter. So I will disconnect everything. Hopefully it will not fall into the engine. If you rev your engine well enough and this is disintegrated, this can be sucked up into the engine. So these cute things were above the air filter, ready to be sucked up by the engine. Here is the long screw. If you unscrew it, this portion will hold it. It will not fall back. And the short screw comes here. That's inside the box. And here is the sensor. The 2 metal leads are visible. And there is the connector. 6-pin connector. Continental PBT GF30. Now finally remove the dirty air filter. Just pull up that orange rubber. Make sure no dirt will enter into this one, which is the air intake of the engine. It's all gray instead of yellow. Small bugs, a lot of them. And this is facing down and it was not falling out. Okay, so that's the old filter. This is the new filter, main filter C24123/2 engine air filter. I already removed this one and inserted it and tried it, so that's why there are some dust marks on it. but this one is yellow compared to the gray. Oh man, what's there? Holy moly. So old filter and new filter, engine air filter. And by the way, let's take a look what we have here. We have leaves, paper, more leaves. Air is coming from here, from the front. It's this hose, and there is the opening. So air is entering somewhere here and goes forward. Yes, another one. I will better bring a vacuum cleaner and clean it out. Now here's the new filter. This rubber has to be up, so insert it somehow. And it is ready. That's the engine air filter. Now try to put the cap back. This is not too easy. Remove this one a little bit. Now push the fuse box to the left. That's why it had to be disconnected. Let's try to put the fuse box back. So lift it up and mount it onto that one from above. Now this cap and the hose. That's it. And now the box. Let's disconnect this once again. Pull it up and to the left. Now I think it's good. From the side looks okay. Manually rotate the screws first. And this one does not enter. Now you have more space up here. Insert the next screw. Now put back the fuse. Pull it up onto that plastic on both sides. Let's tighten that screw back there. Okay, don't over tighten it because it's tightening on plastic. Now insert this connector. That's it. And put this cap back. These two have to be behind. So somewhere here. And push it down. And finally the engine air filter was replaced. This is a tedious job on this car. On other Renaults you don't have 4 screws but 2 clips, and you don't have to remove the connector, the screw, the fuse box. Just pop 2 clips and lift up that cap and insert the filter and push the cap back the 2 clips. This is much more complicated. 2010 2.0 DCI diesel. Cabin air filter and engine air filter were replaced. Now if you start the engine, the oil level is okay, but there are no error messages. So this one now is bringing cleaner air to the cabin. And the engine gets fresher air also. So that's the engine air filter. Closer look. It's for Renault. One piece. and made in Spain. That's the cabin air filter, valeoservice.com. Air source cabin air filter, particle filter combined with active carbon for those engine types from 1.9 liter to 3.5 liters. 10 micrometer to 1 micrometer particles, 99.99% filtration. Those are the layers. Essential has 1 layer, Protect has 2, and Protect Max has 3 layers. This has 3 stars, so it's this one. It should last for 15,000 kilometers. Antibacterial and anti-odor, disinfects and perfumes. So all 3 are protecting against pollen, dust and bacteria. The middle one also protects against harmful gases and odors. And the third one protects against allergens. Injection to be controlled. More exactly, the air filter's sensor is disconnected, which is this one. It disappeared. The engine stopped a little bit. Injection controller. And it's gone. Let's stop the engine. Restart it again. And that's it. So if you remove the engine air filter connector, mass airflow, then you should receive that error message. Injection to be controlled.